I meant fast. Tech team did tech skip, and so we are now ready for the Zachtronics Solitaire Collection 100% run by brassbeat. Let's get those cards on the table.
Hello, I am brassbeat. I am joined by SMid here for commentary. And yeah, this is the Zachtronics Solitaire Collection. So first of all, what is this game? The studio of Zachtronics, they are most renowned for their incredibly hard puzzle games like Opus Magnum, Exapunks, etc. And they made a bunch of really hard solitaire-like mini-games to go along with them. And this is a collection of all those games that they've made. And this category is 100%, so I gotta beat all of them. So yeah, let's get ourselves started. Hold on. We're hearing a slight thing from the text, slight hiccup from the tech side. All right, we're good to go. They can actually hear you now, MIDI.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah. So yeah,
I am also here.
Let's just get started. The time's gonna start when I click when I enter this first game. So on my countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go.
All right. Good luck. So first game up here is Sigmar's Garden. So essentially in this game, we are pairing up marbles to clear them from the board. Sounds simple, but each kind has specific rules for which pairs are going to be valid. So essentially the metals match with quicksilvers in a specific order. So those are going to be deciding the route through the board. You also have salt, which acts as a joker for any of the elements, the main cardinal elements, but you incur parity debt, and you need to find another one of such moves to be able to finish the board. And that is essentially what we are doing here. So again, you have those main 4 elements that do match together. And yeah, you do have to match so the metals match with quicksilver, but only in the order from lead to gold. And that is the end of the game already. We're moving on to Proletariat's Patience. So at the beginning, we are looking for middle cards, so that's 7, 8, and 9, and that's so they connect stacks together. Now this is using a Russian deck that goes from ace to 6. So you are sorting numbered cards in alternating colors. So again, sounds a little bit like Solitaire. All these games are kind of a little bit similar, but also have their different quirks. You can sort honor cards by suit in any order, and the rules are engineered so that we don't need to know the Russian card order, but we will keep that in mind for later on in the run.
It looks like I messed up somewhere. I can't place a 10 under the 9 is the main issue that's I'm having right now. Yeah, so that's a death. That's kind of common in this game.
That's unfortunate.
All these mini games, they are pretty tough. So I guess now is a time for a quick message while I try again. Looks like our host is taking a quick break, so I guess let's just
Oh, I am here. Oh. If you need anything from me, I can always be here.
Oh, yeah, so
do we want to maybe explain to chat a little bit more about how Solitaire works? It's been a while myself.
Yeah, so I guess I can take that one while you're focusing. I know this is a replay. Yeah, so essentially all these extra rules I'm talking about, I guess with Solitaire in general, Solitaire is a game. Classic Solitaire sort of Klondike Solitaire that people generally know from stuff like Windows games and things like that. Essentially, you are trying to put all the cards. You're trying to take all the cards from the main board. So in this case, we have sort of the main stacks of cards at the bottom there, and you also have that draw pile at the top. Essentially, what you're trying to do is create stacks of them off that main pile, and you're trying to sort of go from ace to king to clear the board and also the draw deck. Here, obviously, there are a lot of different rules that I'm talking about as we get into each different game, so there's a lot more to it than just that. But later on, we will be seeing some games that are fairly similar to what most people will know as Solitaire, which is Klondike Solitaire. But the main rule is that you want to be, when you're putting cards down from the draw pile into the main board, you want to be essentially using different color suits and also numbers. So you want to be working your way down. So for example, if you were playing regular Solitaire and you had a red 8 on the main board, and then in the draw deck you had a black 7, you could then bring it down onto that red 8 and
joking?
sort of create a card chain.
This is like the weirdest stuff right now. Yeah, this is kind of
you got another 10. Seems like you just got stuck again. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
I'll give this one more try, and if not, we'll just leave the game for later if we have time.
That's all good.
Yeah, I mean, there's the different colored suits are being a little mean to you here, but I can think of somewhere better to talk about different colored suits. It's that suit bid war for Metroid Prime. And remember, chat, that bid war is tied right now between the fusion suit and the default suit, both at $25. Any donation will break that tie, so if you have a preference, and I'm sure you do, chat, the fusion suit and the default suit are both super stylish, but as I just mentioned, are differently colored. You can go ahead and put your donation in and choose one of those options for your donation to go to.
Well, that's a great segue by Satan. I need to just point that out.
Thank you.
I feel like I need to point that out.
Thank you. I'm a little sick, but I'm doing my best. We're trying our best.
This is why you're hosting.
I try. And this is why you're here on commentary, Minnie. You've been doing a great job.
Yeah, I mean, Solitaire games, I mean, I know Brass has also played other Solitaire games as well. It looks like we are moving on. We may come back to that game later. But yeah, I know Brass is very familiar with other Solitaire games as well, such as the Clubhouse Games series, where Solitaire is also very important. Moving on though, this is Cribbage Solitaire. We might come back to that other game later. So Cribbage Solitaire is score-based. So I believe, like actual Cribbage, it is requiring a score of 61 to clear the game. Now, you create different sets of cards. So you either, that's how you score points. So you can either create a pair, a triple, or a quadruple, and that will score 2, 6, or 12 respectively. Or you can create a run of 3 or more cards together, and that will score that many points. However, I know that sounds a little bit stingy compared to the pair, the triple, and the quadruple. You can chain together. So, for example, a run of 5 would also score the run of 3 and the run of 4 that precede it. Other events can also score extra points, but they're only valuable in specific higher value combos. So, for example, 7897 scores 10 points, or JTQA scores 7. And yeah, as I said, we are going for 61 points to clear this game. As you can see in the score indicator in the top left, that is essentially what we're working with to see our progress through the entire game. And as you can see, there are not many cards remaining, so it is specifically designed so it is difficult to get to that 61. Very unfortunate. 57, that is very close, yes.
Very, very close. Can I just say, by the way, I love the aesthetic of this. I love that it feels like you're sitting down and really like penciling out your score. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great in the with the background details.
The story of this specific deck of cards is also interesting. They actually scanned in a real deck of cards that was used during World War II to
Wow, nice.
sort of
That's cool. Wow.
shuffle in a kind of way to teach identifying different aircraft types.
So yeah, I suppose we haven't really talked too much. So we did mention it briefly earlier, but again, basically this game, essentially all of the Solitaire games in here are part of other games that this dev have made, and this is its own standalone game where all the Solitaire games are combined. So you kind of get a little bit of all the different games just from this one. Moving on, we have Sawayama Solitaire. Now, this is not completely original. As you can see, if you're familiar with regular Solitaire, you're now probably thinking, okay, this is more what I'm used to. This is a lot more similar to your standard Klondike Solitaire that you would see on Windows, for example. So you stack cards with alternating colors on the table, and you're alternating numbers from king to ace. And then you also want to be moving, starting from ace and working up to king on the left-hand side. Those are your foundations. And then that's how you clear the game. However, we do have some differences. You might notice all the cards are face up. A little bit easier. Can place any card on the table in one of those empty spots instead of just the king. Usually you're only able to place a king in those empty columns. However, there is one catch to these nerfs to the game, and that is a much harder element, and that is you cannot redeal the deck at all. Once you've gone through that deck, that draw pile at the top, you are stuck. If you can't make a move from there with that first card, so as you can see on the right hand side, that's the card we can move, and that is it. If you can't make a move other than that, you are stuck. You're gonna have to start again. So it is pretty difficult, and as you can imagine, like with a lot of the games in here, Solitaire, it's going to have a little bit of RNG, so we are hoping that we can get through here.
Hopefully that's not too costly.
So yeah, 2 queens back to back is very tricky.
Yeah, that is rough. That is
pretty much
tough
forcing
RNG.
you to work around that, really.
Mm-hmm.
And again, looking at the future, there's those 2 jacks back to back, which, yeah, again, in general in Solitaire, having stuff like that back to back, especially when you are forced with no redeals, it's gonna be very difficult to work around. And it pretty much is gonna make your entire playstyle revolve around that fact.
In this case,
in
this case, the part that's really troublesome is having both black 2s really far down in the stack.
Yeah,
usually you kind of want
that
to be
as
able
well.
to build at least 2 stacks of different colors forwards. But in this case, that's not really happening. Looks like.
Yeah.
That
is an understandable restart.
This is by quite a wide margin the game that I understand the least how to beat effectively. So that's just something that happens. There's like 8 very distinct games you have to play, and some and then maybe one of them just doesn't click that well, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
That's understandable. All these games are tricky.
This is a very weird deal. I haven't been able to do anything at all with the cards I've been dealt, but
yeah, this is just a really unlucky start.
The game knows you're on a speedrun marathon.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how it goes.
Yeah, it's marathon luck. It just happens. But yeah. Sometimes that's how it is with this. And as I mentioned earlier, with some of the rules, you might have noticed in here, you might have played Klondike Solitaire in the past and played on draw 1 or draw 3. Now, this is draw 3, so it means as soon as Brass clicks the deck, there are going to be 3 cards drawn in the pile. So you can't just work with each one. So for example, the first and the second cards that are drawn in there, to actually reach those, you're going to have to work at the one at the top, essentially, to actually reach those. So it makes the game a lot harder, even if you do have redeals. So having draw 3 and no redeals mixed together, it doesn't matter that there are other sort of nerfs in the game to make it easier, it's still going to be a hard time.
least this one gave me some good maneuvers to sort of keep going. I might be mumbling a lot. That's kind of the classic puzzle game experience, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's why you bring commentators.
Playing Solitaire games, speedrunning Solitaire is very tricky. Yeah, you're having to think about multiple things at once and also trying to talk at the same time. It's just very difficult.
Okay, at least we got something going on here where... What am I doing here?
So I guess while we're at this point, I can talk about the category. So 100% is essentially just playing all of the games. And that is what we're seeing here. However, I believe, and Brass can confirm this, because I'm not a runner of this game. I am a runner of Solitaire and sort of adjacent games to this. But basically, the category requires, for one of the games later, for us to pick the highest difficulty. And I imagine that is sort of an aspect of 100% as well. But generally in here, 100% just means we're playing all the games.
I can maybe come back to this when we get to it, but for that game, essentially, the highest difficulty was the only one that came with the original game. So...
See.
Yeah, that... Oh, that wasn't smart. Oh. I may have messed up again. All right. This is just moving on already.
That was tricky. That's all good.
Good.
The best thing about this is we're still seeing all the games. Yeah. So that's what we need.
As long as we see the games, we're happy.
Absolutely. So the next one, I will probably say wrong. Cluj Solitaire. So this is Cluj.
Yeah.
So this, there you go. So this is the Russian deck again, but this time you need to know the order of the face cards, and that is T, K, D, V. We need to make 4 stacks of ace to 6. However, in this game, suits are not relevant, which is always one less thing to work with. You can cheat 1 card on top of any stack, and cards in an illegal position have to be moved to a legal position. If we place a complete stack on the floor, then we can no longer cheat a card on top of it. And as you can see, there's a lot less space to work with in this game. That's the main thing you're seeing here.
So yeah, this is kind of the thing that you have to deal with. Is now I don't have enough space to like work with the cards. I can maybe do this and then hopefully this, and then that. I barely had enough space for that. This hopefully still works. Okay, kind of lucky that worked out.
All right, nice, very quick clear, very good.
Nice.
But yeah, as you can see, by the end of that game, it's you're so limited to space that seems very difficult. Next up is Kabufuda Solitaire. So this seems to be a very short one. The rules essentially say that we have to pick the highest difficulty, as we said earlier. So this means Brass is going to be looking quite far ahead before making the first move. Essentially, we are sorting the cards in stacks of 4 identical cards. The free cells, those are the ones you see at the top, they can hold either 1 single card or a set of 4 cards. For picking the highest difficulty, we start with 1 free cell. For completing a set on the table, you then lock an additional free cell. So that's why you're seeing at the beginning here, you're only able to use 1, and then we're slowly getting more and more unlocking. If we have 3 sets up at the top, then that means we cannot lose mathematically. So that is what we're watching out for here to then ensure we can get through and get another clear on the board.
I love hearing the words "cannot lose." That sounds like music to my
Cannot
ears.
lose mathematically is fantastic.
Mathematically,
especially in an RNG speedrun. Knowing that the game cannot mess you up it's great.
Beautiful.
I have to be
This music is so nice.
I'd have to use
it's some great ambience.
Mm-hmm.
That was a very tricky one. If I chose I think in that case, if I chose to do one thing differently, that would have been an instant stock.
There you go, and there's right at the end, once you get to that last stack, it is pretty much just finishing it off and getting that clear. So, next up is Shenzhen Solitaire. So, the cards are based on Mahjong tiles. If you're familiar with Mahjong, then you probably recognize some of these symbols. So, essentially, you have 1 to 9 in 3 suits, and you also have 3 sets of 4 dragon cards. The only way to get rid of those dragon cards, is to reveal all 4 of a set. So, that is essentially what we're working with there. Numbered cards work like in Sawayama as before, so kind of similar to Klondike Solitaire. So alternating suits and foundations are going to be used. So as you can see at the top, again, you do have those foundations as well. And it's always nice to get Mahjong get a little bit of an appearance.
Thankfully, this is usually one of the easier games to play out. So there you go.
Yeah, it seems like you got a lot to work with there. Much different to the previous games we've seen.
Are we looking on time?
I will just check that. So it's looking like we are at around 20 minutes for you, 19:30-ish. So yeah, we're coming up to 20 minutes.
Okay, so with a bit of luck, I can still I can still revisit some of the games we didn't beat.
Yeah, we can possibly come back to those, definitely. So this final game here to explain is Fortune's Foundations. This is using a tarot deck, but with 13 ranks instead of 14. 13 is essentially similar to, as you would think of a standard deck of cards with the 13 from Ace to King. So minor arcana go Ace to King onto the foundation, and major arcana go in order, but from both directions at once. Moving a stack on the table means it reverses the order. We get 1 free cell, but it blocks the minor arcana foundations when it is occupied. Unique to this game, we have the undo button, so we actually do have a little bit of safety in that we can go back a little bit if there's been a move that we weren't quite happy with. But because you cannot undo multiple times in a row, essentially you just get 1 undo. You can't just undo forever. So what that means is that it's mainly just going to be used to fix any movement mistakes that may happen, rather than fixing the entire board when sort of more information comes around. Near the end, we can pre-sort the cards to be near their respective foundations to save a little bit of animation length. So there's a little bit of technical time save going on there, rather than just being fast at the games in general.
Go over here, but then I have the 6-5 to deal with here. This is a really awful pair because the 7 and the 4 connect are both on the bottom. Other than that, yeah, maybe this will work. Oh, that's almost. I hope I didn't really mess up there. I need to be careful because if I place this one down, then I can't actually place the stack back on top onto this 8 because it's in the wrong order. So that's kind of the stuff you're dealing with in this game. If you're like barely lacking the kind of space for certain movements, then you can get stuck really easily, and it looks like that this is a bit unfortunate. I don't have a way of, and at the very least, wait, I can manipulate these to be in the correct way. Now, I currently have like a bit less movement space available than what I want. I would really like to have one free cell on the table and the free cell up top. But now I'm kind of stuck with 5 up here.
While you puzzle that out, I'm gonna tell chat a little bit about if you are enjoying No Holidays Allowed and you want to get involved with future No Glitches Allowed events. We have one coming up next year. If you're watching this event and want to get involved in the next one, you can be on the lookout for news about No Glitches Allowed 11. This event is dedicated to speedruns with very few glitches or without glitches entirely. That includes no major glitches, glitchless, and any other run that doesn't have significant tricks or skips. If you're interested in getting involved or finding out more, make sure to join our Discord and follow us on Blue Sky and Instagram to get updates about future events. That is right. If you have a speedrun that you love that doesn't really use glitches, hey, this is a really good example of one. Go ahead and get involved with No Glitches Allowed.
Absolutely. And yeah, technically, because it's No Glitches 11, I mean, technically, to be on brand with this game, just for the next 10 minutes, it's no Glitches Jack, because that's the 11th card. Anyway, so we've seen
Jack. I like it.
I don't know if it's going to catch up, but you know.
You may as well try, right? We'll do our best.
Exactly. Unfortunately, we had a restart here. It is, as you can see, a very complicated game to get the hang of just by observing. And just at that point, can we take a moment to appreciate 157 wins in the corner? It does not take a short amount of time to practice these games this much to the level that Brass has here. Okay, and sometimes RNG just happens. That is just the way. Solitaire, actually, very known, just even basic Solitaire, that if you are playing without sort of undos or anything, sometimes it is impossible to complete any sort of Klondike Solitaire based on the rules you're using. If you're using Draw 3 especially, the game can just be impossible. So adding all these rules definitely doesn't help that fact.
In this game, this game sort of comes with death notes of sorts, and they do sort of mess up that this game in particular is like forced to generate a solvable game because there happens to just be way too many cards. So the probability of getting a winnable game would be way too low.
That does make sense.
That makes sense, yeah.
And especially with these games coming from other games themselves, you don't really want to be stuck not being able to clear this at all, just because a lot of the time it's going to be impossible.
I also want to just give you a quick time check so that you're aware. We're at about 26 minutes out of that estimate.
Okay.
30 minutes.
I don't think I can trust this layout anymore. Don't think I can trust this game anymore. So I'll reset once, and this will probably be my final attempt.
That's all good.
4 minutes is
no problem.
Kind of what an average clear time of this game would look like.
All right, chat. Can we give Brass your best energy right now to make sure that we can clear this board? Come on, chat. I want to see you. Let's hype Brassbeat up. We know he can do it.
19, 18, 53. We can go with the 2.
Also, chat, if you have a favorite card, if you like the 2 of Hearts or something like that, or maybe the Queen of Clubs. I was about to say the Queen of Jacks, but I didn't. It would be really cool to see those in a donation, for example. Maybe $11 donations for No Glitches Jack. For that No Glitches Jack idea. As a reminder, either of the options, if you donate to either of the suit bid war options for Metroid Prime, you would be putting your option in the lead because Fusion Suit and Default Suit are tied. And Metroid Prime is a game that is coming up later today on our schedule. So that is a pressing bid war. You want to donate soon so that your option can be in the lead. We also have a bunch of car models for Trackmania tomorrow that are super fun. I would absolutely love to see one of those models get into the front so that we can have a nice race on that bid war too. Check out the schedule, by the way. There's a lot of amazing runs coming up later today. We've got Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Bowser's Fury, Metroid Prime, and so much more. So much amazing stuff on our first day of No Holidays Allowed. Mitty, how are we looking, do you think?
This is
on this board.
One that I'm a bit stuck on for a while. It's usually there is like only one move available that's like actually progresses you forwards at the start of the game. And it can be quite well hidden because the generation doesn't shy away from just giving you from just forcing some jank with like free cell movements or whatnot.
It happens. We're coming up on that estimate, by the way. Just letting you know.
All right.
Yeah, having a limited amount of space across all these games that have limited space makes it very tricky to work with.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is amazing. I can't even begin to start how I would be thinking about this board.
Yeah, just processing what's going on is the first step, and that's hard enough.
Absolutely. Like seeing that win counter in the corner there, I'm amazed.
Yeah.
This is again kind of a bit of a risk that I'm hoping will work out.
It's that last minute marathon luck. Come on.
That would be. If this moves, then do this. Okay, at least try this. That's very weird. Okay. Maybe this shaking things up a bit enough to sort of give me a few new options to work with. Now I can actually move to 3.
Ooh, it's looking neater.
That way.
Yeah, it seems there's a lot more progress going on, a lot more groups being made. There's a lot less clutter at the at the tops of each part, at the tops of each column, and that's what we like to see.
I want to see this last try clear.
Yeah.
Come on, marathon luck.
Where is okay, I can do this. Something's weird about this.
Oh, I like the bless emote in chat. We've got a bless emote in chat.
There we go.
We gotta do it for the good luck, for the good marathon luck.
This one goes away. Yeah. Okay, I think we may actually be in the clear. Thank you.
There you go, and suddenly it just goes from looking like an absolute mess to just everything
just
falling in place.
So nice. Oh, that's gorgeous. So satisfying.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the best
I'll
part of
call
Solitaire.
time when the win counter increases, and time.
All right, GG.
GG! Fantastic job.
So
Nice
yeah,
job.
not quite a complete run because we ran into some more hiccups at the beginning, but at least I'm glad we
It's a
got
great
to
showcase.
show off every game, and yeah, I'm. I hope you all enjoyed the game. When I stream, when I do speedruns, I do whatever puzzle game I can get my hands on. So sometimes that's this game. Sometimes I do The Witness. Sometimes I do Pickle. And yeah, that's gonna be it. And I hope you'll enjoy the win. Goodbye.
See ya.
Thank you so much for both of you for being here. That was fantastic. Great run, and I'm glad we got to see all the games and get that last marathon clear. We are going to go ahead and get set up for our next game, which is going to be Maquette, ran by Steve TV Online. So don't go anywhere. That is going to be a fantastic run. Thank you so much again.